Hello, Paradise Panther artists. My name is Mrs. Telfer, and I'm excited to be with you today to tell you about our next master artist, Edgar Degas. Degas was a French artist who was a master at painting, sculpture, and drawing. He was interested in capturing the grace and beauty of horses and ballet dancers. So let's learn more about this master artist and how he captured moments from unexpected angles. Here we go, artists. Look at these two paintings. One is posed and formal, aiming for balance and perfection. And the other is a casual, unposed, and unbalanced picture. Our artist, Edgar Degas, would like the one on the left that is casual and unposed. Edgar liked to paint scenes that looked as if people did not know that they were being watched. So when we see his paintings, we feel as though we just happened to look in at an unexpected moment. Before we peek in on some of those scenes, let's peek in on Edgar Degas and see what he looked like. Degas was born in Paris, France. By the time he was 19 years old, he had decided to become an artist. Degas' parents were happy about his choice and helped him out by giving him a large allowance. Let's look carefully at this self-portrait to find out what kind of a man Degas was. Here, he looks serious and hard-working. Well, Degas took his work very seriously. He always put art first in his life. He lived alone so he could work without interruptions. Degas spent many hours painting, but especially drawing to get ready to paint. He was part of a group of artists called the Impressionists. They were changing the art world of Paris with their new ways of painting. As we look at his artwork today, we will discover some of Degas' drawing secrets that we can use as artists too. Without using your voice, put your thumb up or down if you like horses. Thank you. You can put your hands away now. Edgar Degas loved horses and going to the racetrack. Let's see what part of horse racing he really liked. I wonder if we will see a painting of the finish line and the winning horse and jockey. Let's find out. First, Degas went with his sketchbook and drew the riders and the horses in action. He was very good at showing the action of horse racing. He wasn't interested in who won the races, but he loved to sketch the animals and the riders in all kinds of activity. Then he took his sketches home to his art studio, and there he worked on his paintings. Degas made the horse's legs bent in this painting to show movement. This is an unposed painting because we see the horses and the riders moving casually about in the scene. Degas liked to go to the horse races with his friends, but not to watch who wins the races. Photographers always take a careful look at how things in a picture are put together. So let's look carefully at this painting called The Jockeys. Here, we see that some of the horses and the jockeys are in front of the others. That's right, they are overlapping each other. Overlapping is one way to make a painting have a sense of space. Now, I want you to picture a fast horse race, and then a ballerina twirling on her toes. I wonder why Degas was interested in both horse races and ballerinas. You might be thinking, what do they have in common? Well, they both show movement. That's one of the reasons why horse racing and ballet were Degas' favorite things to paint. Let's see if our next artwork shows movement. This kind of artwork is called a sculpture. In order to paint ballerinas the best he could, Degas studied the ballerina from all angles while they danced. After he watched and sketched them many times, he made a sculpture of a ballerina, so he could look at it in his studio while he painted. This sculpture was made by Degas for studying only. He never intended it to be displayed as a work of art. It is a very small sculpture, only about 3 feet high. Today, it is Degas' most famous piece of sculpture. The ballerina who posed for this sculpture was 14 years old. Her name was Marie. Degas dressed the sculpture in real clothing. We can tell that even her hair ribbon is real. Some of you may have taken ballet lessons before, but for the rest of you, let's imagine tiptoeing up to a dancing class and sneaking a peek at what it's like. We'll open the door just a crack. No one knows we're watching. Let's quietly look in on this dancing class and take a careful look around to see what's happening. Here, we definitely see overlapping. Notice how some of the ballerinas are close to the front of the room, and some are farther away. Without using your voice, give me a thumbs up if you see movement in this painting. Great job! Yes, we do see movement here in the ballerinas. Thank you. You can put your hands away now. When things are far away, they seem smaller, unclear, or blurred. When things are close to us, we can see them more clearly and they seem larger. So Degas made small, unclear ballerinas who look far away. He painted larger, more detailed ballerinas to look close up. Without using your voice and only using your hands, do this with me. Make a narrow room with your hands. Now, let's make that narrow room very deep by moving our hands further apart. Thank you. You can put your hands away now. If a painting looks deep, we say that it has depth. Please say that word with me. Ready, set, go. Depth. Very good, thank you. Look again at this painting to see the depth of the room. Here we see a ballet student at the bar who is trying very hard to balance. She looks very graceful, and Degas shows us the beautiful details of her costume. At her waist is a large white bow. The bow on the other ballerina on the right is blue. Ballerinas wore different colors of bows to show the different levels of their skill in ballet. This is similar to how karate students show different skill levels with the color of their belts. I bet that the ballerinas are very proud of the bows they wear. They come in many pretty colors like blue, green, red, and yellow, as well as white. You will be choosing a bow color in your classroom art activity. As we explore this painting, I'm wondering if you can sit like the woman you see here. Without using your voice, move your body and see if you can sit just like the woman we see here. Thank you. You can relax your bodies now. Here we see a woman who is unposed, and it almost looks as if she is bored. The other part of this painting that catches my eye are the flowers, the chrysanthemums. This painting is titled Woman with Chrysanthemums. Degas is called an impressionist painter, but unlike other impressionists, Degas only would paint indoors. He would sketch horses and jockeys outside, but he would paint inside his studio. Next, you will notice a big change in Degas' artwork. After Degas had been painting for quite a while, he began to lose his eyesight. That is a very sad thing to happen to an artist. He gave up using oil paints and started using soft chalk pastels. Pastels are used in sticks, like colored chalk. Oil paints are good for painting detail, but pastels are not. Degas found that with pastels, he could leave out the details that he couldn't see. He drew with thick lines, bright colors, and was able to work much faster than with oil paints. Let's compare the pastel faces with an oil-painted face. Without using your voice, raise your hand if you can come up and find the artwork that is using pastels. If you think you know, raise a quiet hand and your teacher will call on you. Yes, the artwork that is using pastels is the one on the right here. We know that it is done in pastels because it is more blurry than the one on the left. By the time Degas was about 70 years old, he was almost completely blind. He would use a cane to walk the streets of Paris. Still, he wanted to work, so he started to do more sculptures. It was easier for him as a blind artist to do a sculpture because he could feel the artwork with his hands. He made sculptures of the same things he loved to paint: dancers and horses. You have done such a good job listening today as we explored Degas' most famous portraits and paintings. He started with scenes from the world of horse racing, and then turned his attention to the theater and ballet. In your art activity, you will learn about the drawing secrets of Degas and how he used the grid method. And I will see you next time, Paradise Panther artists. Have a great day.